Okay, hello everybody and welcome back to Shades Hobby Dog Bay. Okay, this is back to back. I just finished part 1. I'm making part 2 now. So this is part 2 of comparing the 1970s to the 1980s to now. Alright, I'm going to try to make this one not as long. Okay, so when I was born in 1968, okay? So we lived in Kenner, Louisiana until I was 5. And I'm not a math person. I have to do this on my hands, so bear with me. I know, simplest little thing, you're going to say, oh, you didn't know that. No, I didn't, because I'm crazy. Anyway. Okay, so I was born in 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73. So when we moved to Seminary, Mississippi, it was 1973. Okay, and I was 5 years old, okay? All right. I also remember a little library in the seminary town. We would walk to it. Sometimes after school, we would stop there and look. I loved going to this library and checking out books and stuff. I had one favorite book that I would check out every single time if it was there. I loved it so much. Okay, so anyway, all right, also I remember where our trailer was sitting. The road went down this way to go to town. This was the back of our trailer. The front of our trailer was this way, and the road went that way to town. But across that road, over here beside us, was this big field, and it had cotton in it. And I can remember me, my mama, my sister Charlotte, my sister Becca, going over there to that field. Sometimes we'd pick cotton. Sometimes we would, seem like maybe one of the other girls had a thing at school where they had to collect insects or something, and they had a net out there, and they were trying to get butterflies and stuff like that. I remember this. But that's all I remember about it. I don't remember all little details. And then also some kind of way, I don't know if you had to go through that field or if there was a little dirt road down by it somehow, but you went back in there to a house where a family lived that had a girl kind of my age. I think she was a little older than me, but we were kind of friends. They're actually family of my oldest sister's husband. So I remember that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Okay, the cars. We had, in the trailer park where we lived, there was another girl. She was actually the cousin of the girl that, they rented us the spot in the trailer park that I told y'all about that I'd go play with and swim. This was her cousin, so I was friends with her too. Okay, the cars. I remember, okay, my mama didn't work. She stayed home. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting it wrong. Forgive me. Mama worked at that junction, remember. Okay. She had, I remember, a green station wagon. And my daddy, I'm not sure what it was. I think it was some kind of an old work pickup truck. And he would go to work. All right. He also drove 18-wheelers. I don't know if it was exactly during this time that he drove 18-wheelers, because at some point in time he worked at a, was it called a paper mill? It was a yard full of trees, and they cut up trees into logs and stuff. That's where my daddy worked. I don't know what that was called. And then at some point he worked at like a mechanic shop, because I can remember going there and getting on that roller that he would lay on his back and roll under the cars. I remember playing on that. Anyway, I just don't remember what part of my life that was in. But anyway, I'm trying to get everything in during this time. So the cars. And I've told you kind of what the neighborhood looked like in the town. We had a phone. I do remember this. During this time, now I think it was here. I could be mistaken on that. This might be after we actually moved our trailer to Bowie Swamp. But anyway, we had a phone. I think we only had one phone in the living room. I don't know. Mama and Daddy may have had a phone in their bedroom. I can't remember. But anyway, there was a party line. And I can remember me and my middle sister, Becca, we would get on the phone and we would both be up at our ears, and we would be listening to another person talking on the party line phone that we shared with. We loved doing that. I remember that. I couldn't tell you what they talked about now, but I just remember doing that, and that was fun. I'm trying to think what else was there during this time. And I may even be mistaken about that. That might even have been later on after we moved to Escatawba. I don't know. If any of y'all, Mom, Charlotte, Becca, watch this and I'm getting any of this wrong, please let me know. But this is what my mind is remembering. Okay, let me go over this real quick. All right. I'm going to go as far as to say I don't really and truly remember this exactly, but I'm thinking like back in Kenner before we moved, we had a TV, and I think it was only one TV. All right. When we moved to seminary, I think we had a TV. But it was one TV in the living room. And I loved it. It was one of the big box. It had the legs. And it was a big square box. I loved that thing. I used to always love drawing it too. And, but anyway, I loved getting up like early every Saturday morning. And especially in the wintertime when it was cold, I'd get a blanket and a pillow and lay on the floor or lay in my mom's lazy boy chair. But I think I loved getting on the floor and laying down. And we lived in a trailer, and there was vents for the heater and air in the floor instead of in the ceiling. And I would get over that vent and spread that blanket over that vent and let that warm heater come up and warm me up. And I would lay there and watch cartoons every Saturday morning. That was my thing. Or I would sit, if it wasn't wintertime, I'd sit in the middle of the floor and watch cartoons. Okay, I think I have remembered everything I can remember of during that time. We always, like my mom cooked meals at home. I ate, like for breakfast, I ate cereal or grits. Mom didn't like cook big breakfasts or anything. For lunch, it was always sandwiches. But then supper, she would cook the meal. Now, as far as going out to eat, I only really, during that time where we lived, recall going to the junction where she worked and ate. Okay. That is going to be all of this part 2. I'm keeping them short. I'm sorry, y'all. So this was, when did I say? 1973, I think. Now, I don't really know what year exactly we moved to Bowie. It could have done turned 74 when we moved to Bowie. But my next part 3, will be when we've moved to Bowie, and then everything I can remember there. Okay? So, I hope y'all are enjoying these. We'll be back with part 3 later on. Okay, I am out of here until next time. I'm going to the loo-hoo.